Hi, my name is EJ Massa. Game of Thrones is back, baby. In case you couldn't tell from the hype from your Facebook feed, YouTube ads, Twitter ads, timely articles, and think pieces. It's everywhere. As today's television gets more and more segmented to Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, every network wants its own prestige television show, and each of those shows caters to a specific audience. We've come to the point where all TV shows are at least kind of good, and there's so much content that even TV critics whose job it is to watch it and write about it have trouble keeping up. So Game of Thrones came at the right time where it transcends all that, and it continues to be that water cooler talk event. It stands out while other quality shows fade out into obscurity. Who knows if another show will even be able to break through the noise and reach the universal appeal of Game of Thrones. I'd say Game of Thrones ascended to a fandom much like Star Wars or Harry Potter at this point. So the fandom is at a fever pitch, and all eyes are on season 7. Let's see how it did. We start off with Walder Frey giving a toast. Hey, aren't you dead? Well, that's a very glaring continuity error. Walder gives a speech about how awesome it is that they murdered all the Starks. The dialogue is a little on the nose this season of Game of Thrones. Oh, I see what's happening here. It's a murder party, and Arya is the gracious host.
Tell them winter came for House Frey.
And after saying that incredibly badass line, she has to still look cool while wearing an old man's jacket. Solid cold opening. One thing to note about the intro is there's no Essos location shown. I might be wrong, but is that a first? I think that bodes well for a very focused season. And I don't think people will be all that mad because a lot of the most frustrating plot lines were in Essos. Like season 2, Dany shouting about her dragons.
Where are my dragons?
We then catch up with the surface of the moon, and then we get a look at the Night King's army of the dead. Hot damn, zombie giants? I'm a little disappointed we didn't see ice spiders as big as hounds like Old Nan promised.
Pale spiders, big as hounds.
I want to see them puppy spiders.
Pale spiders, big as hounds.
You got the budget, HBO.
Pale spiders, big as hounds.
You have to make this line pay off.
Pale spiders, big as hounds.
Spiders. As big as hounds. Make it happen. Mira and Bran get to the wall. Mira's like, hey, let us through. This is Bran Stark. Ed is suspicious and says, prove it. And then Bran says a bunch of spooky stuff, and Ed is sufficiently spooked. Oh, he's definitely a Stark. They return from the dead, love murder, and are friends with Littlefinger. Starks are super spooky. Jon's holding a meeting, and he's doing leader stuff. He says we gotta put all our efforts into finding Dragonglass and training for the coming White Walker invasion. He also advocates for the equal right of women to fight and train like men. Lyanna Mormont's like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna fuck shit up. If I was a White Walker, I would not want to face Lyanna Mormont on the battlefield. Ooh, vicious. Jon sends Tormund and the wildlings to the wall. Please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. I need your beard around for inspiration, envy, and awe. Sansa has some ideas on how things should be done, and Jon mansplains her down. Oh Jon, you were doing so well in the equal rights thing. Littlefinger sees this argument, and look at that little shit smirk. You can tell he has a scheme processing. Sansa goes to Jon and is like, hey, Robb and Ned were honorable and good, but they're dead, and maybe you should try being an asshole. It works for these guys. Speaking of Cersei, she's made a sad old man paint her map. The only thing that brings me joy in life is painting. Please stop painting. Oh. Cersei explains to Jaime that Tyrion is now Dany's hand and is sailing across the Narrow Sea. How does she know any of this? I know Qyburn has a network of spies, but this seems all too convenient that she would know all this so quickly. Oh wait, I see now. She has a copy of season 6 on Blu-ray. That explains it. Cersei laments that she has traitors all around her. Yes, traitors. And I'm sure you tried to win them over with honey. Explosive green honey. Cersei's even mad at Tommen for killing himself. Dude, Cersei, that's harsh. Jaime's like, hey, we need some friends in this game. And Cersei says,
I think I listened to Father for 40 years and learned nothing.
Yes. Euron comes by, and for some reason he's dressed like the lead singer of an indie pop band. He pledges his hand in marriage and his ships for the next action set piece. But Cersei declines because she saw on her season 6 Blu-ray that Euron killed his brother, and that shit won't fly with her, I guess? Anyways, it's a fun scene with many great digs at Jaime.
And 2 good hands.
You murdered your own brother.
You should try it. Feels wonderful.
Oh, the Citadel, a place of books, knowledge, science, and... Oh geez, Sam must be forging the Brownling to his chain, which is mastery of 90s television gross-out humor. He's gotta be a master of poop and blood and guts. He wants to read books in the Forbidden Zone, and he tries to get permission to read them. Not before you finish the DVD box set to Ren and Stimpy. Fuck this shit. Yoink and yoink. In all seriousness, I love the Archmaester's speech about Maesters being the memory of Westeros, and while everyone thinks, one event or the next event is the end of the world, they just keep trucking along, gathering knowledge. Pod and Brienne practice, and we get to see Tormund do his getting down to business strut. How can Brienne resist? Ooh. Littlefinger pries into Sansa's business, but Sansa has his number and shuts him down. As he walks away, Brienne comments,
He wants something.
Arya comes across a new set of victims, a group of young lads. She doesn't murder them, but I could seriously watch a whole series where Arya goes from place to place murdering people. In fact, is that the new spin-off? But it turns out she stumbled across the only band of soldiers who aren't rapers and thieves. Discount Adam Driver talks about his little daughter, and the men share food with her. She then tells them she's going to murder the queen, and they laugh and laugh and laugh. The Arya scenes were probably my favorite this episode, especially since the Bravo scenes from the past couple seasons have been kind of a mixed bag, so it's refreshing to see a return to form for her storyline. The Hound is traveling with the Brotherhood without banners, and he's acting like one of those internet commenters who always has to poo-poo everything. That's not the way the world works, guys. Your religion is stupid. Those skeletons are gay. Everything you believe is dumb, and you are dumb. But unlike that internet commenter, when he's shown a convincing argument about why he's wrong, he actually changes his ways. And man, for people who follow the Lord of Light, this scene is really fucking dark. I swear next season is just gonna be completely black. Game of Thrones. Find the exposure setting in your nonlinear editor, and just bump it up a few notches. For me. Sam is reading his stolen book with his family, and he finds out there's a ton of dragonglass under Dragonstone. Hey, that's the name of the episode. He immediately gets out a big cartoon quill and writes to Jon. Is he writing to Jon at the Wall or to Winterfell? Actually, how much does Sam know? I'm very fuzzy about who knows what so far, and if he's sending the Raven to the Wall, I hope they have Raven mail forwarding. Spooky arm. Oh wait. I've masturbated to enough audiobooks to know whose voice that is.
With the princess in confinement on Dragonstone.
Dany and friends are continuing their power poses from the end of last season, except in a tinier, more pathetic boat. Kinda makes them look like they're all eager to take a piss. They then take a tour of the expanded visual effects budget. We've come so far from the static matte paintings of season 1, haven't we? Then it's time for Dany to clean up after the Baratheons. Dust a little bit, get rid of the tapestries, and clean the sex juices off the map table. And finally, Dany gets to the throne room where she gets to sit on a glowing piece of the aggro crag. Let's take it back to Mo.
Shall we begin?
Man, I can't wait to see her face when she finds Lisa's fetus room. Hey, look. We all know what this episode is. It's a table-setting episode pushing folks along on their Season 7 journeys. But you can already feel the focus getting tighter, especially since they killed so many characters off last season. It feels like they actually have time to artfully tell the story using some visuals like the Sam cleaning montage, Dany wordlessly entering Dragonstone, and the Hound digging graves with Thoros. Although I would have loved to have actually seen it. However, you have those artful and beautifully paced scenes, but then you also have other scenes with very blunt dialogue and characters conveniently knowing things because it would be easier for the plot to move along if they knew them, like with that Cersei stuff. I guess we just assume that Qyburn is really good with this spy network. I guess. We leave the gentle touch of the dialogue from earlier seasons and we trade it in for the overpowering grip of this current season. The grip that just wants to get things done. We don't have too many episodes left, damn it. But even with all of that, there were some great scenes like Arya meeting the soldiers, which slowed things down a bit to show some of the human side of the common man of Westeros. But it's a solid episode. I like the continued improvement on strong visual storytelling and the tighter focus. But it's hampered down by some sloppy, blunt dialogue. Now, I imagine there's some newcomers to this channel, and we have plenty of great content on Red Cow. I filmed the series Box Mac, which isn't just about reviewing mac and cheese, it's about friendship, and telling jokes, and hanging out, and having a good time. I also make a little cooking show called EJ Cooks, which could easily be called an Idiot Cook, so check that out. And please leave a comment, because it really helps us in the search rankings. I don't really care to do gimmicky stuff like, if Jon Snow was a dinosaur, which dinosaur would it be? Leave a comment and tell me the dinosaur. I'm totally willing to chat about Game of Thrones, or anything really, so leave a comment and I'll try to respond. Anyways, see you next time. Bye.